All right, welcome. My name's Joe Silva. If you're here, that means you're interested in business, entrepreneurship, and creating something new, because that's what we do as entrepreneurs. There's a couple episodes recently that you'll want to go back and listen to, so check those out. The fact that you're here means you're interested in business, and you'll pick up a ton of great information on those last 3 or 4 episodes we published. So go back, whatever it is you're listening on, and check those out. But today, we're going to cover probably the number one most common mistake that most people make, okay? So you're not alone if you're doing this. And in fact, you may be doing this mistake right now as you're listening to me. Whoa, right? What are you talking about? It's true. All right, so we're going to cover the number one most detrimental mistake that you could be making to your business growth. Now, if you're in business, if you're trying to build a business, you want to grow, you want to expand, you want to create more, don't you? That's pretty common and is likely a goal of yours if you're in business and listening to this podcast. That's why you're here, and that's what we'll help you do. So this one simple, I don't even know what to call it. I don't want to call it a task because we're going to get there. This one simple idea, this one simple concept that is so common. I bet 99% of people are doing this. Even today, like I said, you may be doing it as we speak. You're about to find out. We're going to cover it all as to why this is such a big deal. All right? Now, you might be asking yourself now, well, get to the point, Joe. What are you talking about? I want to know so I can stop doing this habit right now. So here it is. All right, are you ready? I'm going to slow down. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to cover the details. So stick with me. That number one worst habit in running your business and looking for growth and building your company is, are you ready? Multitasking. All right? Multitasking, doing more than one thing at a time. Now, you may have heard this before, and you probably just brush it off if you're like most people, including myself. I used to brush this off as well. All right, most business owners, we are known to multitask. It's almost expected. It's a common theme out there in society that if you're running a business, in particular, a business that is less than, say, 20 people or less than 50 people or whatever, even if it's just yourself or one person with you, if you're running a business and you're not some large conglomerate corporate entity, it's almost expected that you multitask. And you might be saying right now, well, how in the world can I do that? If I'm my only employee, of course I have to multitask. Well, you're about to find out, so keep listening. You're about to find out that's not necessarily true. All right, multitasking isn't doing more than one thing during the day. It's doing more than one thing at a time. Okay, so let me say that again, because this is an important concept to understand what multitasking is. Multitasking isn't doing more than one thing every day. So maybe you wear multiple hats in your business. Again, that's normal. If you're like 90% of business owners out there, that is completely normal. You're doing the shipping, you're doing the accounting, you're doing the sales, you're doing the customer service. Those things are normal. Now, we talk a lot on our podcast about ways to alleviate a lot of that, but sometimes it's just the reality of where you're at. And believe me, I've done it myself many, many times. I've coached and trained people that have done it a lot, and there's different techniques that we talk about to get around that. But for today's purposes, again, multitasking isn't not doing all those things. It's simply focusing your attention on one thing at a time, okay? You may think things like, well, I'm the only one that can do this, and if I want it done right, I'll just do it myself. Those are common thoughts out there from business owners as well, okay? But let's look at it this way. What will accomplish more for you in your business? And even if you're not in business, this is a concept that can apply to you, okay? Whether you're a student or a family member, whatever it is, this concept applies, all right? So ask yourself this. Are you going to accomplish more if you do one task, laser focused, for 1 full hour? Or are you going to accomplish more if you do 6 tasks for 10 minutes each? 1 task for 1 hour, 6 tasks for 10 minutes. The answer is obvious, isn't it? You're going to get much more in depth. You're going to get much more done. You're going to get much more better quality work when you do that one task, laser focused for 1 hour. Okay? The Cleveland Clinic, this is scientifically proven. The Cleveland Clinic actually has research that shows when attention is divided, okay, more distractions leads to less focus and less productivity. Do you want to be less productive in your job? Do you want to be less productive in building your business? Probably not. You probably want to be more productive. So how can you do that? Again, it goes around the multitasking. We're going to get there in a minute, so just stick with me here, okay? The Cleveland Clinic study actually showed that you cannot go into deeper processing. Everything basically stays surface level as you keep dividing your attention amongst certain things and different things, okay? University of California, Irvine, so there's more research out there that proves this, says they did a study and found that it took 23 minutes to get back on track after being distracted. So it's not necessarily the distraction itself, okay? It's what happens after you take your attention away from something. So if you're working on a project within your business, and then you check your email really quick, and then you answer your phone, and then you look at text messages, then maybe you look at Facebook, then you answer a customer question, then you talk to an employee, right? All those distractions. After each one, it's taking you 23 full minutes, almost a half an hour, to get back to true focused, productive work. So if you have 3 times that you move your attention from your main project 3 times a day, that's an hour lost of productivity in your business. And you wonder where all your time goes, don't you? Every day we're probably saying things like, boy, that day went fast. Oh my goodness, I got to do X, Y, Z. Well, this is why. Productivity and staying on track. All right, multitasking is the worst way to build your business productively. So what can we do? We see that it's clear, the scientific evidence even tells us that multitasking is a detriment to our business. It's keeping us stuck. It's actually what we think is being more productive is actually what is making us less productive. So we've got to flip our mindset. When you flip your mindset on that, you will start to realize that there are other ways to do business. Now, most successful business owners eventually discover that to do what they want to do in business, to grow, to expand, to succeed the way they dreamed of when they originally started, they've got to do 3 things. Number 1, delegate. And this can be internal or external. We've talked about this on other episodes, but we're going to recap here because this is important. When you delegate, you free up your time to focus on what matters. And delegation can mean more than one thing. There's really 2 types. There's internal delegation, so you can hire somebody, and that can be within that can be a contractor. It can be a vendor. It can be internally. It can be a contractor. It can be a virtual assistant, or it can be an employee on your staff. Now, you can also delegate externally. You can delegate to vendors externally and say, I'm going to hire company X to do this for me. They're not an internal part of my team, but externally, I'm going to delegate this task to be done. So there's 2 ways to delegate, internal and external. And when you do that, that is the fastest way to growth. Successful business owners know this. They delegate relentlessly in order to free up their time to focus on the activity that matters so that they're not distracted, that they're not multitasking. Because when you do that, now you can truly focus on your business. Now, the second way to focus on what matters in that time that you have is to eliminate things that no longer serve you. I've given this example before. I was coaching a client, and they had a business for many years, and were doing things. They had a couple of processes in place that they had done for 5. I believe it was 5 years. Now I think about it. Yes, they were doing a task for 5 years, and finally, we talked about some things in their business about this exact topic, and it hit them that, you know what, this particular process, what if we just stopped doing that? Is it serving a purpose anymore? So they evaluated, and I worked with them to do this, evaluate what they were doing within their business, and they said, this process is no longer serving us. What's going to happen if we eliminate it? And honestly, some discussion started happening there, but we came to the conclusion, let's try it now. Let's not wait. Let's try it right now. They eliminated that day, and lo and behold, they have never re-implemented that process, and they save more time now taking away a process. So you can eliminate. So delegate, eliminate, and then the third way to help yourself is to automate. So in 2021, when this is being recorded, there are boatloads of software out there, as you know, that will automate what you need to do. Now, this doesn't mean being impersonal. This doesn't mean becoming a robot in your business, but it certainly means you can get some assistance, okay? Automate some things. It's like if you're driving a car, okay, do you want to have the manual transmission, or do you want the automatic transmission, right? You're still driving the car. It's not like that car isn't there and you're not personally in the car, but you can take steps to automate the process, make it much easier, much more accessible, and free up your time to focus on what matters in business. Because as we saw earlier, when your attention is divided, your business becomes divided and you get distracted. And it's very difficult to get back to the work that matters when you're distracted, as we saw earlier in this episode. So delegate, internally or externally, eliminate what isn't serving you any longer, and automate. Use tools, use software to make things simplified. When you do all of that, you will have less on your plate and more time to focus on what matters in your business. And guess what? As you will find out, that's when the results come. That's when you start hitting your goals. That's when you have more time to do better work and you get better results. And that's exactly why you're in business, to make impact, to make income, and to change lives around you. So if you're a business owner, you already know that focusing on the 5% of what drives activity is the best way to grow your business. That's what we just covered in this episode. And most entrepreneurs, unfortunately, make that costly mistake. They're trying to do everything themselves and multitask at one time. But when you do that, as we've heard in this episode, as you've learned today, when you do that multitask, it costs you money out of your pocket, it costs you time out of your day, and it puts you further from your goals and your dreams of building that business you've always wanted. So after listening to all this, if you're interested in more detailed information, go to our website. It's joesovatraining.com. That's my name, Joe Sova, S-O-V-A, training.com. And we have resources there for you that you can download for free and get more information. So check that out. Also, be sure to subscribe. If you are enjoying the content that we're producing on these podcasts, be sure to subscribe so you get notified of when more episodes come out. Because as you know, the more knowledge that you can put into your business with others that have been there, the more successful you'll be. So it's well worth your time, obviously, to subscribe and continue to listen to this to our podcast. So, and I appreciate you. So, thank you very much for being here. Again, let's go out and support each other, local, independent, purposeful businesses, online, offline, whatever it may be. Let's support those businesses that are making a difference in the world and creating the future that we all desire through entrepreneurship. So, thank you for being here. We will see you on the next episode.